Gonzo the Monkey and the Great Jungle Adventure. In times past, in a lush and green jungle, there lived a little monkey named Gonzo. Gonzo was a lively monkey with soft brown fur, bright eyes, and a long, curly tail. He loved to swing from tree to tree and explore the jungle. Gonzo lived with his family in a big treehouse made of strong branches and large leaves. Gonzo had a younger sister named Mia. Mia was a small and playful monkey who loved to follow Gonzo everywhere. They had many friends in the jungle, including Tim the tortoise, Bella the bird, and Ellie the elephant. Every day, Gonzo and Mia would play with their friends and have fun adventures. One sunny morning, Gonzo woke up with a big idea. He wanted to go on a great adventure to find the golden banana. The golden banana was a legendary fruit said to be the most delicious in the entire jungle. Gonzo had heard stories about it from the older monkeys and had always dreamed of finding it. Gonzo jumped out of bed and ran to his parents. "Mom, Dad, I want to go on an adventure to find the golden banana," he said excitedly. His mother smiled and said, "That sounds like a great adventure, Gonzo. But you must be careful and remember to come back before dark." Gonzo's father added, "And make sure to take some food and water with you. It might be a long journey." Gonzo nodded eagerly. He packed a small bag with bananas, nuts, and a bottle of water. He also took a small map of the jungle that his father had given him. The map showed a path that led to the heart of the jungle, where the golden banana was said to be. Gonzo was ready to go. He said goodbye to his family and set off on his adventure. As he walked through the jungle, he felt excited and a little bit nervous. He had never been this far from home before. The jungle was full of sounds. Birds sang in the trees, monkeys chattered, and the leaves rustled in the wind. Gonzo loved the jungle. It was full of life and color. As he walked, Gonzo saw many animals. He saw a family of deer grazing on some grass, a group of parrots flying overhead, and even a big elephant drinking water from the river. Gonzo waved to them all and continued on his way. After a while, Gonzo came to a fork in the path. He looked at his map and saw that one path led to a dark part of the jungle and the other to a sunny meadow. Gonzo decided to take the sunny path. He loved the sunshine and the open spaces. Gonzo walked through the meadow, feeling happy and free. He picked some wildflowers and hummed a little tune. But soon, he came to the edge of the meadow and saw a big hill. The hill was covered in thick vines and looked very steep. Gonzo looked at his map again. The map showed that the golden banana was on the other side of the hill. Gonzo took a deep breath and started to climb. The vines were thick and slippery, but Gonzo was strong and determined. He used his hands and feet to pull himself up, one step at a time. Halfway up the hill, Gonzo heard a voice. "Hey there, need some help?" Gonzo looked up and saw a friendly monkey named Tim. Tim had a big smile and was very good at climbing. He swung down to where Gonzo was and said, "I can help you climb the hill. It's tricky, but we can do it together." Gonzo was grateful for the help. "Thanks, Tim. I'm Gonzo. I'm looking for the golden banana." Tim's eyes lit up. "The golden banana, I've heard of it. Let's find it together." With Tim's help, Gonzo climbed the hill much faster. They reached the top and looked down at the jungle below. It was a beautiful sight. The trees stretched out as far as they could see, and the river sparkled in the distance. On the other side of the hill, they saw a dense part of the jungle. The trees were tall and close together, and the light barely reached the ground. Gonzo and Tim knew they had to go through this dark part to reach the golden banana. They climbed down the hill and entered the dark jungle. It was very quiet, and the air felt cool and damp. Gonzo and Tim stayed close together. They walked carefully, watching out for roots and branches. As they walked, they heard a rustling sound. Gonzo and Tim stopped and looked around. Suddenly, a small monkey jumped out of the bushes. The monkey was scared and shivering. "What's wrong?" Gonzo asked the small monkey. The small monkey said, "My name is Sam. I got lost and can't find my way home." Gonzo and Tim felt sorry for Sam. "Don't worry, Sam. You can come with us. We're looking for the golden banana. Maybe we can help you find your way home on the way back." Sam felt better and decided to join Gonzo and Tim on their adventure. The three monkeys continued through the dark jungle, helping each other and being careful. After a while, they came to a big river. The river was wide and the water flowed fast. Gonzo looked at his map and saw that they needed to cross the river to get to the golden banana. Gonzo and Tim thought hard about how to cross the river. Then, Tim had an idea. Let's make a raft. We can use the big leaves and vines to tie it together. Gonzo and Sam agreed. They worked together to gather big leaves and strong vines. They tied the leaves together with the vines and made a sturdy raft. Carefully, they pushed the raft into the river and climbed on. The raft floated down the river, and the monkeys used sticks to steer it. They paddled hard and kept the raft from going too fast. Gonzo, Tim, and Sam were a good team. They worked together and soon reached the other side of the river. They climbed off the raft and continued their journey. The jungle on this side of the river was even thicker, but Gonzo felt sure they were getting close to the golden banana. As they walked, they heard a loud noise. It sounded like an animal in trouble. Gonzo, Tim, and Sam followed the sound and found a big, friendly bear. The bear was stuck in a net and couldn't get out. "Please help me," the bear said. "I got caught in this net and can't get free." Gonzo, Tim, and Sam worked together to free the bear. They chewed through the ropes and pulled the net away. The bear was very grateful. "Thank you for saving me," the bear said. "My name is Ben. How can I help you?" Gonzo told Ben about their quest for the golden banana. Ben smiled and said, "I know where it is. Follow me." Ben led the monkeys through the thick jungle. They climbed over fallen trees and waded through shallow streams. Ben knew the jungle well and helped them avoid any dangers. After a long walk, they finally reached a clearing. In the middle of the clearing stood a tall banana tree with golden bananas hanging from its branches. The bananas sparkled in the sunlight, just as the legends had said. "We found it," Gonzo shouted with joy. Gonzo, Tim, Sam, and Ben climbed the tree and picked the golden bananas. They were delicious and sweet, the best bananas they had ever tasted. They shared the bananas and felt very happy. Gonzo thanked Ben for his help. "We couldn't have done it without you," he said. Ben smiled and said, "You are brave and kind. It was my pleasure to help you." Gonzo, Tim, and Sam decided it was time to head home. They had found the golden banana and made new friends along the way. They thanked Ben again and started their journey back. On the way back, they helped Sam find his way home. Sam was very happy to be back with his family. "Thank you, Gonzo and Tim. I will never forget this adventure," he said. Gonzo and Tim continued their journey and soon reached the big hill. They climbed back over the hill and walked through the sunny meadow. As they neared Gonzo's home, they felt proud of their adventure. Gonzo's family was waiting for him. When they saw him, they ran to hug him. "Welcome back, Gonzo. Did you find the golden banana?" his mother asked. Gonzo smiled and showed them the golden bananas. "Yes, we did, and we made new friends too." Gonzo shared the golden bananas with his family. They all agreed that they were the best bananas they had ever tasted. Gonzo's adventure had brought joy to everyone. That night, as Gonzo lay in bed, he thought about his adventure. He felt happy and proud. He knew that with courage, kindness, and friends, anything was possible. Gonzo dreamed of more adventures and all the wonderful things he would discover in the jungle. He knew that the jungle was full of surprises and that every day was a new opportunity to explore and learn. As days turned into weeks, Gonzo couldn't stop thinking about the adventure and the friends he had made. One day, he decided to visit Tim and see how he was doing. Gonzo climbed up the trees and swung from branch to branch until he reached Tim's house. "Hi, Tim," Gonzo called out. Tim appeared with a big smile on his face. "Gonzo, it's so good to see you. Come on in." Gonzo entered Tim's tree house, and they sat down together. Gonzo told Tim about all the things he had been doing since their adventure, and Tim shared his stories too. They laughed and talked for hours. Then, Gonzo had another idea. "Tim, what if we went on another adventure? There's so much more of the jungle we haven't explored yet." Tim's eyes sparkled with excitement. "That sounds like a great idea, Gonzo. Where should we go?" Gonzo pulled out his map and spread it on the table. "Let's see. How about we explore the Hidden Valley? I've heard it's a beautiful place with lots of interesting plants and animals. Tim nodded eagerly. Yes, let's go to the Hidden Valley. The next day, Gonzo and Tim packed their bags with food, water, and their map. They said goodbye to their families and set off on their new adventure. The path to the Hidden Valley was long and winding, but Gonzo and Tim were ready for the challenge. As they walked, they met many animals along the way. They helped a family of squirrels gather nuts, played with a group of playful rabbits, and even watched a family of turtles slowly make their way to a pond. After a few days of walking, Gonzo and Tim finally reached the entrance to the Hidden Valley. The valley was surrounded by tall mountains, and a narrow path led down into the valley. Gonzo and Tim carefully made their way down the path and soon found themselves in a place of breathtaking beauty. The Hidden Valley was full of colorful flowers, tall trees, and sparkling streams. Birds sang sweetly, and butterflies danced in the air. Gonzo and Tim felt like they had discovered a magical place. As they explored the valley, they found many new and interesting things. They saw plants they had never seen before, tasted delicious fruits, and met friendly animals who lived in the valley. Gonzo and Tim felt happy and grateful for the adventure. One day, while exploring a dense part of the valley, Gonzo and Tim heard a strange noise. They followed the sound and discovered a cave hidden behind some thick bushes. The noise seemed to be coming from inside the cave. Gonzo and Tim looked at each other. "Should we go in?" Tim asked. Gonzo nodded. "Let's see what's inside. But we must be careful." They entered the cave slowly and found themselves in a large, dark space. As their eyes adjusted to the darkness, they saw a small light in the distance. They walked towards the light and found a glowing crystal sitting on a rock. The crystal was beautiful and gave off a soft, warm light. Gonzo and Tim were amazed. "This must be a special crystal," Gonzo said. "I've never seen anything like it." Tim agreed. "It's amazing. Let's take it with us and show our families." Gonzo carefully picked up the crystal, and they left the cave. They continued to explore the valley, finding more interesting plants and animals. As the days went by, they felt like they had discovered a hidden treasure. Finally, it was time to return home. Gonzo and Tim packed their bags and said goodbye to the Hidden Valley. They made their way back through the jungle, retracing their steps and remembering all the wonderful things they had seen and done. When they reached home, they were greeted with cheers and hugs from their families and friends. Gonzo and Tim shared their stories and showed everyone the glowing crystal. Everyone was amazed by the crystal and the tales of the Hidden Valley. Gonzo and Tim felt proud of their adventure. They knew that the jungle was full of surprises and that there were always new things to discover. They looked forward to many more adventures together, exploring the wonders of the jungle and making new friends along the way. And so, Gonzo the monkey and his friend Tim continued to explore, learn, and grow. They lived happily in the jungle, always ready for the next big adventure. The jungle was their home, and they knew that it was a magical place full of beauty, wonder, and endless possibilities.